In India, 90% of marriages are still arranged. That's an estimate because the government doesn't collect statistics on it, obviously. But you know, there's lots of different kinds of arranged marriages. And when I first started meeting women my age, I realized that there can be radical differences in the way that people get married through their parents and through tradition. But there can also be much of the same stuff that's been happening for centuries and centuries. When I met her, I was really surprised to realize that she had pretty much the same expectations as I did out of finding a husband for herself. I mean, she was independent. She wore what she called mini skirts that went to her knees. She drove her own car, as increasing numbers of women do in Delhi. She worked in a job. She was really proud of her profession. She put a lot of emphasis on the kinds of friends that she had, and she wanted to find a guy who was sensitive to her needs and who wouldn't make her trade in her jeans for a sari, as one of the guys she'd met would insisted that she would have to do, because you couldn't be seen wearing jeans around a family home, once she moved into his home. But she wanted to have an arranged marriage because she felt that it was like she needed that protection, to feel confident that she had made the right choice, which she didn't believe was something that just the girl alone should do. And she would always try to explain this decision to me. She was constantly trying to make me agree with her that arranged marriage was a good idea. She'd always say, that my parents know me better than anyone else. They probably know me better than I know myself, so they should choose. But then she didn't want them to entirely choose, because that was always a disaster. They'd introduced her to dozens and dozens of boys. We have a cultural blockade in the US and most of the West against the idea of arranged marriage. And I actually felt that kind of breaking down for me when I was there. I mean, Gita did kind of convince me that there were some good things about the arranged marriage. I mean, I didn't end up having one myself, but I mean, I don't think my parents would have chosen the kind of guy that would have worked out. But I do see that there's some kind of practical things that go along with making the choice of who you're going to spend your life with that that perhaps have longer been a consideration in India than they have been here.